even if I get a trim, it's like $90. And I'm like, bitch, come on. Are you serious?
The market, listen. Here, I'm not a capitalist, but I'm going to tell you something. The marketplace dictates it.
Oh, I get it.
The marketplace says if a man gets a bad haircut, he goes, all right, and then up he goes.
And he just goes.
And he goes. And you get your $25 and out he goes. Yeah. If a woman gets a bad haircut, it's...
tears.
It's a problem.
It's a big problem.
It's a fucking problem.
You're going to have a bad Yelp review.
And she's going to go tell all her friends, don't go to fucking Kathy's. Look what she did to my hair. So the word of mouth on a bad female haircut, the word of mouth could drive you out of a fucking small community.
But that still doesn't mean you should be charging
men are going to go,
yep,
there we
money.
Go. Yep. How does she look?
Like,
you look bad. You look bad like always.
It cost me like $300 to color my hair. $300. Like, and I don't even go to like super fancy places. Just like everywhere, it's that much.
It's when I go. Here's the thing. I had to actually sit down with my two hairdressers and explain something to them about marketing.
You had to.
I had to have a heart-to-heart.
I'm sure they loved it. They're like, "Oh, Sean, tell us your marketing expertise."
Because there's two guys that are always cutting hair. There's like 3 chairs, right?
Yeah.
And this guy, the main hair cutter, his name's Frankie, and he's the main hair cutter. He's on his left stool, right? That's his place. The other guy's on his right one, and then they always have somebody in the middle that's just a replacement, just a filler hairdresser, some fucking random guy.
Yeah.
And he's always there. And then you go in, and then they'll stick you with the middle guy. So, like, good hair cutter and pretty good hair cutter are busy, and then the fucking loser in the middle that nobody knows is open.
Uh-oh.
And they'll be like, yeah. But they'll look and see who's available and be like, who's the biggest piece of shit? Who's the biggest?
Who's the dumbest person
Who's
here?
the dumbest fuck here? And they'll go, you, middle guy.
So dumb people have worse haircuts than smart
because
guys.
they go, okay, I don't care who's got the scissors. I don't care who has the scissors.
I am the most
shorter.
I'm so unconfrontational. I can't do. If I got a bad haircut, I just be like, "Thank you." Like even at work when it's always like old people that come in with their mask around with their nose out, and I'm just like, it's not even worth it. I might get COVID, but it's not even worth it. And if they want to get COVID, fine. You're old. You're taking your life in your hands by having your nose hanging out there.
But so anyway, before you fucking interrupted
me,
the lesson that I had to teach these guys.
I forgot.
The middle chair guy would just every 2 weeks he'd be gone, and a new guy.
Oh, did they train people?
And then you'd be like, "Hey, where'd the other guy go that was here a little while?" And they're like, "Oh, he's the worst. He is a brutal hairdresser. Fucking brutal." They'll just tell you flat out, like, we got rid of him because he sucked at cutting hair.
Yeah.
And then the next guy would come, and then he'd leave, and they'd be like, he was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, and then after I had my last haircut, I was like, you need to stop saying the guy that you just replaced
was
sucked.
Terrible. Yeah.
Because now everybody that comes in is going to be like, well, the next guy probably sucks too.
Yeah. You
can't just shit on the guy that you just fired because you constantly have a new guy in the middle chair.
Yeah.
And now we're all sitting there scared of whoever middle chair is. Who's this new clown that you're going to hate that 3 weeks from now you're going to be like, we had to get rid of him. He was just shaving heads. So I had to be like, even if the guy sucks, when he leaves, you just say, oh, yeah, he was good, but he's not here anymore. Or like, whatever. Like, you don't say he was terrible because now I could see they were having a problem getting somebody to go to fucking middle chair guy.
Yeah.
Because they were like, no. Like, these other 2 guys have scared me off of Johnny Middle Chair. Middle chair. So I told them that when I was leaving.
And what did they
were
say?
Like, oh, yeah. Like, you know how minorities always whenever a white person talks, they just like smile.
What is their background?
When you leave, they speak in another language about how stupid you are.
Yeah. Well, Adam and I went and got pedicures together.
Oh.
And his feet are pretty terrifying, but they look so good. Now, he got red toes just like me, and they're so cute.
What the fuck? Did he really? Yeah. Oh, those are deep red.
Deep red. They're Christmas red. And but anyway,
is there different types of reds?
Oh yeah, there's lots of different kinds of red.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Because I just know red.
Well, this looks like more like a fire truck red.
That's red.
This is more of a fire truck. Oh, on my hand. I'm like,
how?
I was like, how am I gonna? Let me see if I can.
No. Oh yeah, totally worth it. There you go.
Oh, this is gonna look so bad. Oh yeah.
OnlyFans. I need you to read up.
Guys, we got to talk about that in a second. But so we got pedicures, and they were the two very awesome Asian ladies, but they like just talked in front of us like, I'm sure they were saying like, who are these dumb fucking idiots? And like, I'm sure they were saying that, but
all you have to do is start crying and say, I speak Mandarin.
But if I could speak a different language and I worked like at a place like that, for sure I would make fun of the person. That's just part of the perks of that job. You have to touch my disgusting feet. You can make fun of me in your own language. That's
what's so great about white people is, we make fun of other people's accents. Like, people that are trying to speak English and like are better at it, have a better vocabulary than us, but they have a little bit of just an accent, like they're just struggling a little bit. Yeah. And we jump all over it like, oh, you fucking, we're like, we make fun of the way that they speak English. But we don't. Imagine us trying to speak their language.
It would be like,
and then they start making fun of us. Oh, Jingja, you fucking white loser. They wouldn't do that. They'd be like, oh, isn't that nice that Whitey's trying?
I know.
Trying.
Isn't that?
Whitey's trying. They respect a Whitey who tries. And over here, we're like, holy fuck. But you don't even know all the words.
In Quebec, if you don't speak French, they like hate. They won't even serve you in
French
some places.
Is a dumb language. It really is.
Yeah.
You ever hear somebody speak it? Like if they were gross, it's just because they're better looking that it makes French sound good because most of them are good looking.
That's a big overgeneralization. I don't know.
Do you know how many ugly French
Quite
people?
A few.
You know some ugly Frenchies?
Oh, there's a lot. Look at Quebec. They're all over Quebec.
Not Montreal's hot. Quebec City's gross. Quebec City's like Fort McMurray in French.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like those people are fucking big old dump trucks. Just fucking grandma standing next to a 17th century church. Jesus used to live here. She said in whatever fucking monkey tongue she speaks.
I want you to park that big dump trunk right in my gaping garage.
En français, s'il vous plaît.
Park that. I wish it was dump truck instead of Mack truck.
I went to French immersion, and that's what the number one thing they would say is Jean d'or.
Jean d'or?
Outside. Like the teachers would say it very casually. Like when other people got sent outside, it was like Russell Daw. Like there was an anger to it. There was like a rage. There was a newness to it. Yeah. But for me, they would just like see what I was doing, and without having any emotional response, Sean Daw.
Get out of this
That's
room.
How often I got kicked out of class.
I got kicked out of class too. Do they still kick kids out of class? Like I remember sitting in that hallway for so long. Yeah, they'll
kick you right out of there. Even in COVID.
Oh yeah.
Even during COVID. Yeah, mute the mic.
I heard somebody say that there's never going to be snow days again because they know how to distance learn now. So they can cancel school, but they can still have a full school day.
Not really, because they're right in the middle of studying certain things, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard for them to just say, okay, let's make a quick virtual curriculum change.
But just for one day?
For one day, they would do what they do, like, you'd watch them, you know what I mean? Like, they still watch movies and shit. It would depend.
They just don't have to wheel a VHS machine into the room.
If there was one day, or if you had to stay at home for one day, they would just say you have the day off.
Yeah.
If it was like 3 or 4 days, then they might be asked by the principal, like, can you put something together?
Them something?
But for one day, they wouldn't bother with like, okay, let's jump into decimals online.
Oh God.
Because kids are still like, some of them are lazy as fuck, right? So they just jump online and then they like, see you later, bitch.
Oh, if I was around right now in school and it was, I would be failing whatever year this is because
you still failed.
I never failed anything.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Were you a good student?
I wasn't okay. I was good enough for my ADHD mind.
I thought you were going to say it was good for my age,
which would be
ridiculous. Because
I was 15 in grade 5.
Yeah. See, that would be a funny joke. Like I was good at school for my age. I was always 4 years older than everybody, but
it just made me feel more mature.
I was pretty dumb for my age. I did really well in school, but I was considered dumb for my age because I was always 6 years older than everybody else. We're workshopping jokes, Kathleen. I was an honors student, but I was pretty dumb for my age.
I was never an honors student. I never got the Rutherford scholarship.
I got honors in one thing, and they assumed I cheated. That's how.
I'd get good marks in like art or phys ed or things that you have to write papers for or add or anything.
I did well in English, even though I never read a book in my life.
That's a lie.
I've never read a book in my life.
That's a lie because you have to have in school.
I'd never read them.
That's bullshit, Sean.
I just didn't read them.
Did you read Cole's notes? Because that counts as reading too.
I never learned to play the recorder, even though we played it for every day for 4 years.
No kids did. It was just like,
No. Mine was literally, I don't even know what G is, bitch.
I never knew. I just pretended, and I'm like, I'm sure.
You were a pretender?
I was a pretender, of course, because I didn't want to learn.
I used to have a joke about that where like it really freed you up during recitals.
Yeah, you didn't have to use your brain to think about where the
everybody else is like, holy shit, nail it. And then I'm like, moving my arms, dancing a little bit. Sean's really doing well.
I wouldn't even blow into it. I'd be like,
no, because you can't blow into it if you don't know how to fucking play. You've got to be 100% fake on the recorder. You can't just be like, who the fuck's doing that?
I had a little recorder carrying case. Did you ever record it?
Yeah, my parents would be like, don't forget to clean it. I'm like, no need.
There's no spit.
Way cleaner on the outside, on the inside than it is on the outside.
Yeah, we had to learn ukulele too, and I didn't do well in that either.
No, I never learned the ukulele. I was 4 years. We played the recorder all the fucking time at French immersion.
Yeah, because the French people love the recorder.
Fucking put a hole in a tree and drink it. Those were the two things we did.
Maple
Played
syrup.
the recorder, or like put a knife in a tree and drank whatever flowed out of it. I love that that's their culture, just tree cutting.
We just
cut a tree and drink it. That's your whole culture. That's who you are. Whatever leaks out of that tree is who you are.
Put it in the snow and it gets hard.
It's the ridiculous. Snow. I know. That's their whole fucking culture. The Quebecois.
That literally is. That's it. Is like
that's it. They make the fucking bonhomme de neige and whatever fucking
and a
tree
tourtière,
pisses.
like a meat pie.
Yeah, they're dumb fucking pies.
So, oh my god, have you ever had a? They're so like everyone's like, isn't it good? I'm like, it's like so much.
I love cardiovascular density. Like you just feel like you're having a stroke when you eat a
French
tourtière.
People are never like big.
Happy.
We're happy. But like in France, they're never big and they eat like butter and bread over there. So I don't know what the fuck, why we can't be like the French. We probably eat triple what they eat in a day though.
Fuck, are you kidding? And then the amount of shit on it.
Yeah.
Like they go to, it's
real stuff.
Paul Meyerhog will talk about, he lives in France.
Yes,
and he'll tell you your bread, if you bought bread and you didn't eat it that day, that's garbage bread.
Really?
Yeah, because it's hard.
It does get hard, but I save it and try and do something with it.
Shut the fuck up! You just put it in in the freezer next to the bananas.
Yeah, I have
One day I'm gonna get around to that bread.
I have so many half loaves of bread next to a bunch of black bananas. That's all I've got in my freezer. Oh my god!
So in Europe, I don't know if we'd like Europe.
They don't have peanut butter in France.
They don't?
They don't have peanut butter in France.
Because of the number of allergies?
Yes, it's all about peanut allergies.
Did it come out of a tree? Fucking then throw it in the garbage.
Is it tree liquid? Then we don't want it.
If it didn't come out of a tree, it's not for me. Said every French dummy.
How do you say that in French? How do you say if it did come out of a tree?
Ils sont besoin de plusieurs fucking puss.
I think besoin is one of my... I don't know what besoin means. Because that's what besoin. I just
no. I need. Besoin is I need.
Oh, okay.
J'ai besoin.
Isn't that chord? J'ai besoin.
J'ai besoin de toi. I need you, Kathleen. I don't know how they say podcast. Probably fucking Podload.
Podload. A bibliomoose.
Some dumb French word that every fucking hacky comedian
uses. Yeah, like, or seal in French is fucking everyone.
I'm running around like fucking, where's the bibliothèque, bitch? Bibliothèque is still a fucking cool word.
It is a good word.
Because it sounds like a library dance
party. So is
party.
pamplemousse. Grapefruit. That's a very good one.
Pamplemousse is a good one.
Although I don't like how they call grape raisin. Because, like, that's not a grape. That's a dried out grape, but it's not.
That ain't no grape, bitch.
It ain't no grape. Like, raisin pop. I don't think so. Thank you very much. That doesn't sound very good to me.
They do have good, they have a lot of food trucks,
In France?
In Quebec, like Montreal. Fuck, they have great food there.
They have great food. I mean, it's like poutine and steamies and stuff, but it's still good.
It's just the people that ruin it. You know?
The people do ruin it.
It doesn't taste as good because of who served it to you and who's around you while you're eating.
They're just mean. Like they're so
rude.
Mean.
Yeah, they're born to be rude.
They're born to be rude.
There's a fucking weird. I don't know where it comes from either. Either that or they're chippy, like Australians, right? They're just naturally chippy. You know, which is a weird. Like it's foreign to us as like, you know, British people or Canadians. We're used to sort of being very walled off. Like we're all our own little weird version of the royal family, where everybody's like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah.
Wandering around. Don't say anything. Wait till she leaves, and we'll all talk about her. You know. Like that's how we deal with shit. Whereas like Australians and French people are like, we don't gossip. We tell you to fuck off.
Yeah, it's they're a to your face kind of people.
And then they get together with other people and they talk about something else. You know, like they don't need to be like, oh my God, you won't believe what Becky said, because they're like, I told Becky to shut her fucking stupid bitch mouth. We spend our whole lives talking about things that we wish we'd said in the moment to other people that we generally don't like, but we don't want them to hate us.
I know. I hate that when you think of what you should have said after.
There's going to be so many things where I'm on my deathbed and I'll be like, fuck, what the fuck? The number of times that I was like, oh, okay. I'll go do something I hate.
Yeah.
Big for you, a person who I know I don't, you know, what the fuck am I doing trying to please this piece of shit?
That's why you're supposed to live your life to the fullest.
Like did I ever tell you that story about the guy who bullied me in high school and I helped him move a freezer?
I think you might have said that.
I think I talked about it. I might have talked about it on the podcast or something.
But tell it again, because that's insane.
Some guy who bullied me in high school and was like a general asshole to me for years.
Yeah.
I ran into him in Vancouver. And he's like, hey, come on, fucking check out my place. And then he's like, oh, I'm moving out. Like, do you want to help me with this freezer? And then I'm sure. And I've just seen this guy for the first time in 15 years. And I'm on the business end of a deep freeze. Like, I'm on the motor end, like fucking.
Oh, my God.
Taking it up a flight of stairs. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of human does this? A guy who was a bully to you in high school for years.
He probably doesn't even think he was a bully.
No, he's like, no, 10 more steps.
I used to razz you for being a faggot, but that's it.
Because you were a faggot. That's what I do.
Oh, my God.
I tell you what you are.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, think about how many humorless people think their meanness is a sense of humor. Like the number of people that I know just in my life that think they're funny, but all they are is just they say mean things. Like, there's no creativity. There's no imagination behind it. Yeah. There's no sort of wit. It's just mean. Like, and then they're like, that's just my...
It's just me.
I guess nobody thinks that's funny, but that's just my sense of humor. I just tell it like it is.
I do like to be mean as well.
You know? And it's like, but that's just, you sit nice fucking pants, bitch. That's just my sense of humor.
It's just who I am. I can't help it.
You look like you're getting bigger. Anyway, that's what I say. Looks like your weight loss has plateaued. Anyhow, that's just what I like to say to people.
It has plateaued. I'm having a real tough time with it. It's plateaued.
Anyway, I don't know why people. Yeah, sometimes people don't laugh because I just tell it like it is.
You're such a bitch.
That's my humor.
Sean, you're such a bitch.
My humor is I observe people and then I find a flaw in them and then I vocalize it. That's just how I make people laugh.
I just like making them feel real bad.
Yeah. I don't mind those people because we kind of are like that in some ways, but at the same time, we always are very aware of how fucked up we are.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to make fun of you and be like, but I'm looking great.
But in character, you'll make fun of me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, as long as I can do a weird, funny accent.
Yeah.
I was literally just trying to think of like, what can I say that is kind of... Because that would be the meanest thing to say.
I did just weigh myself today. I'm like, God damn it. Like, I'm not even going anywhere.
Yeah, but you can't keep going down
Yes,
forever.
I need to lose. I just want to lose 20 more pounds by my birthday.
But now you're in your slow down phase.
I don't want to be in the slow down.
Where like it used to melt off and now there's not as much there. But I won't. So it's like you can't just keep losing 3 pounds a week.
That's true. I should though.
No. Even like at this point, even if you're like losing 0.25 pounds a week, you're still on the right track. Yeah. You're still on the road to, and then but that's the thing too, when you don't have as much weight to lose, if you have one shitty day, like if you just had a day
your scale goes right back up.
Yeah,
it's so fucking
see you
crazy.
later. That week is gone.
And then
you might as well flush that week down the fucking toilet.
When you get your period, you gain 8 pounds in water.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
But you're losing blood. I thought you'd.
But your body's sucking up water to overcompensate for all the blood that you're losing. God. No, but I get so bloated when I get my period, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to step on this scale in a week and I'm going to be down 10 pounds.
Why isn't there a pill where you just don't have a period?
I think there is, but I don't think that's very natural.
Who cares? Who gives a fuck about natural? I mean, look at you. You're on fucking...
I just be so worried
you take morning meth.
I love my morning meth. If morning meth made me not have a period, I would still take it.
It's not very natural. Like, you know how many men would be on that
No,
pill if
I
we
don't-
bled out of our dicks?
I
Like, every
don't-
one of us would just automatically, are you on Zycodol? Yep.
Because there is
Are you? Yep. Are you? Yes. Every man you know, like, do you bleed? No.
No, I stopped bleeding when I was 15.
My dad gave me the pills when I was 9. Here, son, never stop taking these.
There is like a depot shot, like it's a birth control thing, but then
really?
that makes you fat. Like birth control makes you fat.
Fuck.
Like it's like you cannot win. You can't win. It's
You
like
can't win.
Yeah.
You know? You start taking birth control, you get fat, and then nobody fucks you when you get off the birth control.
And then I'm like, why am I on
Why
this
am I
birth
on
control?
this birth
No
control?
one's
Nobody's
coming
fucking
inside
you.
of me.
Right. And then you stop taking the birth control, you lose weight, people start fucking you, you're pregnant.
It's so fucking
It's a terrible,
ridiculous.
And then you get
fat
'cause
again.
You're pregnant.
You just
God.
explained the wonders of being a woman. You just explained it all. That's
Yeah,
why
you
I'm
get
having
off the pills,
dogs.
you lose the weight, you get fucked before they start working again. Uh-oh.
Did you know that there is an Amazing Race style show, but for a dog and its owner? So you get to like travel and do things with your dog.
Oh, fuck.
I'm so excited. You guys look like it's going to be awful,
God.
but I can't wait.
It would be entertaining if it was cats.
No, it wouldn't.
Trying to get fucking cats in Cairo to go on to, on
but
the
there's
right
cats
road.
that kayak.
I know, but dogs is like, come here. Like, okay, I'll go anywhere.
Good.
I'll go anywhere.
That's
Food
why it's going to be
dispenser.
so fun. It's
Who
going
gives
to
me
be
the
so
food? I'll go where you're going. Like, it's not exciting to see a dog. It's just like Amazing Race with a fucking thing that would follow you anyway. It's like wearing a backpack.
Yeah, but it has to follow you across tight ropes and stuff.
I'd
It's
rather
gonna
see
be
it with
so
cats.
cool.
I guess you're right. Tight ropes would be kind of fun.
It's
It would
gonna
have to
be
be
so
dangerous.
cool.
Like they could die.
They do have veterinarians that are with them at all times and safety advisors.
Oh, fuck.
And there's a couple little dogs, and I'm so excited for the little dogs.
Are you going
there's-
to do this?
I'm not going to do it. I'm going to watch it. Like, there's too much
could
running
do
in
it.
The Amazing Race. There's too much running. That's why I would
there
never
really?
do. Yeah, I would do Big Brother, but then sometimes even those competitions look like they hurt.
I feel like if I was on The Amazing Race, what would happen is they would basically cut me out of every episode.
We should do
Until
The Amazing
until
Race.
I did something dumb until I got lost. And then they'd be like, this whole episode's about Sean being lost. But nobody's going to know who he is because we didn't feature many of the other episodes. Who cares?
We should do The Amazing Race.
Us too.
It would
With
be
your
so
dog
bad.
and my cat.
It would be so bad if we would be the first ones out.
We'd be out.
We'd be out so
We'd
fast.
be out immediately.
We'd be out so fast.
We'd be
Or
done.
we just like stupidly keep
you-
winning in some way and we're like, we don't want to be on this race anymore.
We would have a task, and then neither one of us would be able to figure it out, and then we wouldn't even look at each other to be like, "Can you do this?" We just know instinctively. I guarantee you, she or he can't fucking do this either. If I can't do it, she can't fucking do it. And you'd be thinking the same thing about me, like, well, if I can't figure it out, Sean thinks there's one red.
It would be so funny if we were like working with the producers and they just kept pushing us through. Like we'd never win it, but they just kept pushing us through, even though we were so stupid. And just watching all these other teams just like heads explode. Like
They got the wild card.
I don't know how they did it. They just keep getting it.
It's like a comedian in an amateur contest getting the wild card because they brought all their friends. We're the people that draw the viewers.
Yeah.
People want to see those dumb fucking losers again.
Yeah.
Because we're the draw.
Oh, we'd be a draw on that
We
show.
can't kick them off. They're the dummies that everybody's... They went viral. All you guys just like ran around and pressed a button and you finished first, second, third, big deal.
And they
were the ones that were like crying in a forest. Like,
they have so many gifts made out of them.
I'm so thirsty. I don't remember my dog's name.
You know, if we did reality show, there would be a million gifts. We'd be gift superstars.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. We'd be gift superstars.
Here's Sean taking his shirt off and walking backwards. Why is he walking backwards? He got really itchy.
Could you do a reality show? I could probably do Big Brother, but it would be so boring.
Big Brother would be awful
It
because
would be
you'd
pretty
start getting, you'd be like, "What? Shut the fuck!" Like you'd lose it at some point.
But you'd have to be. You have to be a real bad person to get ahead in that one.
I would like to see like a COVID Big Brother where everybody has to be socially distanced and wear masks.
You know what? They were in the middle of a Big Brother game when COVID hit, Big Brother Canada, and then they stopped. I'm like, why would you stop? Everybody in there is fine. Like, everybody's already quarantined. Like, why would they? I just don't understand why they stopped. Maybe because they were like, well, we don't know.
Just the optics of it.
People didn't know what was going on outside.
They had to tell them. Isn't that weird? Wouldn't that be crazy if like you just like are dying in the Big Brother house and are like, don't tell them the world's over. Let's just let them walk out to just ashes.
I think it'd be fucking. Yeah, it would have been so cool.
Or a zombie thing.
If you walk out and you're the winner, and then you're like, why are the streets of Toronto dead?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been so cool for them to come out to like some post-apocalyptic fucking weird place.
That would be a fun thing to do is prank a whole Big Brother house into making them think the world is like a zombie thing on the outside and then just making them freak the fuck out. Let's do our own I've always wanted to be a reality show producer. It looks like so much. You can just fuck with people. It's like, that's your job, is to be a puppet master.
What would your reality show be? Would it be like, would you have to do tasks?
Well,
because Big Brother's just like, they sit there most of the time, right?
Yeah, that's all they do is just sit around.
And then they act like it's chess. They act like, determining who gets kicked off is like fucking chess.
Yeah.
Like it's the Queen's Gambit that you and Terry are going to vote off Susie.
But then Susie convinces Terry to vote you out.
Rook takes Queen. Like, what? You guys just ganged up on her. That's called chess. Big Brother chess.
Big Brother chess.
They always acted like it was some big deal that they kicked somebody off. And I'm like, you just fucking ganged up on somebody. That's all.
I tried to pitch like a show of, like about dating called The Personality, where it was just like people that were like, it was always like, oh, she's got a great personality. Like those were the people that were on it.
How about The Bachelorette, but you can't see each other?
That was part of the whole.
Yeah, you have to
pitch
wear
of the
fucking
show.
dark shades and you can't see them.
Yeah.
And you have to wear masks.
That would be amazing if they had to wear a mask for the entire episode of The Bachelorette this season, because they filmed it during all this. That would have been so funny. And then you just like have to pick and then they take it off and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
because nobody ever looks like what you think they're going to look like when they take their mask off.
I don't know, man. You got a pretty good idea.
Like, no, you don't.
You can tell.
When has someone taken a mask off in front of you and you're like, oh, that's exactly what I pictured?
If you look at a man or a woman from like the toes to the fucking top of their heads,
you can't picture my
You got
face
a pretty
if you
good
didn't
idea
know
if they're
me.
if you're sexually attracted to them.
But sometimes,
how many times do they remove their?
Yeah, people with a bad teeth.
But Jim said a
this
fucked
is
up
their
mouth,
time.
and I don't know about
people with bad teeth. This is their time to bad teeth, but good eyes. They're thriving right now.
Who has a bad teeth and good eyes?
Lots of people.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I have good teeth and good eyes, so I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know because I'm so good at both. I just got my eyes whitened, my clear eyes.
My eyes whitened.
I take Visine everywhere because I like to whiten my eyes and fucking because I get bloodshot teeth.
Did you know that I now know that I'm beautiful and famous because somebody made up a fake Instagram account of me.
Of you?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
And it was like go to my OnlyFans. I'm like, I don't really advertise OnlyFans on Instagram because it's just like, I don't need some people on Instagram to know this.
So are you paying money to be on your fake
No,
but
this is the funniest part is the guy makes, or whoever did it, and I think I figured out who it was because I blocked. There's two guys that I thought it was, and then I'm like, I just blocked this other guy, and it just kind of stopped. So, but I was like, this is hilarious because I can be like, I don't have an OnlyFans, but like it was my literally actual OnlyFans that he put in the link.
Really?
I made $400 American yesterday.
Off of your fake. Oh my God.
Off of my fake Instagram account, which I should have been horrified about. I should have been horrified about it, but it was like all these guys were messaging me like, is this really you? And I'm like, the Instagram page isn't, but that's my OnlyFans. So all these guys like, you actually have an OnlyFans? I'm like, yeah. And then boom, 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 bing, bing, bing.
money. Titties, titties in brown pants, titties in orange pants, titties in blue pants.
Same pose every day.
Strike a pose. Sitting down cross-legged on a park bench.
Ew, I hate that. I hate the girl.
Let's just see all that sausage.
But I thought that was so funny that this guy was trying to fuck with me, and he actually ended up making me a whole bunch of money yesterday.
Yeah, nice try, bitch.
And even if none of those people renew, I made like a bunch of money off of it. I've almost hit $3,000.
$3,000. That's insane.
I'm making more money.
Do you mean like $3,000 a month, or do you mean you make $3,000?
Since I started like really posting them, I think I started in September.
Okay, so like September,
August or September, I started to really post on it.
Kind of like $1,200 a month ish.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I'm in shock. When she was 40, she'd be posting topless pictures on the internet and getting paid for it. She'd be like, go fuck yourself. You're a liar. I'm going to be fat for life and gross.
And what's the internet?
Yeah, what's the internet? I think the internet existed when I was 15. It was just new.
Yeah, it was just starting out.
Because I remember we got our home computer when I was like 17. And I remember I would go to my mom's office and look up Seinfeld scripts on the internet. That's all I did all day.
What?
Yeah.
You'd like read Seinfeld scripts?
Yeah.
The first thing we did was look at horrific images, right? Because that was the first thing.
Yeah, that was another thing.
You couldn't see, you couldn't see horrific images, right?
No.
Like prior to the internet.
Yeah, what was the website? Rotten.com.
Rotten.com. So the very first thing you'd see is like
a woman blowing a hose.
It'd be like a dead fetus with a cat's tongue in its mouth. You know what I mean? Like something awful.
Jana and I watched a woman blow a horse, and we like just about pissed ourselves because the horse like comes.
Does he
and
really?
The ladies.
Oh, gross!
It was disgusting, but it was also one of the funniest things. And the horse the whole time was like, I mean, bestiality is wrong.
Oh, so the horse was like, oh, here she comes.
Well, I guess
was
so.
Was he like doing a little, woo, I like this.
Yeah, giddy up. Exactly.
But they don't list horses as one of the animals that loves to fuck.
Well, have you asked a horse? How many people have and why do we know that dolphins love to fuck? Like, what scientific experiments have we done?
Well, just because we know that
they're always smiling.
They do outside of season, right? Like there's like a mating.
Oh, there's no mating season.
There's like a mating season, and then they're fucking just like on a random Tuesday, 3 months after mating season's over, they're still fucking each other.
Yeah.
Like, well, they must like it. Because nobody'd do that for nothing.
Yeah, that horse video, those that's like, I've never seen Two Girls, One Cup because I know it would be just ingrained in my head because that horse video is like ingrained in my mind, and I saw that when I was like 17. Like there's like, what is like some stuff that you saw on the internet that you're like that video of the guy shooting himself in the head? I wish I'd never seen that. That's like that.
That was a bad one.
He was like that politician. Treasurer or something of something.
I don't even remember.
People will know what I'm talking about.
I don't even remember some of the things. Like we just would. That was the first thing that struck us, is like, this is cool.
I know, but what's something that like sticks out in your head of like, I remember looking at that and being like, holy shit, and it's just never left your head.
I don't look at a lot of those things. Like video, like if it's a still image of something horrific, I'm like, okay, cool. But like a video, I'm like I don't need to see 1,500 pictures of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can look at one photo and soak it in.
Oh,
but 1,500 flashing that's a gross image.
There was Rotten.com, but there was another one too that was out there too that had so many horrific things on it.
It was cool though; those were cool. That was the very first thing we did.
Yeah,
before porn.
Eight people would sit around someone's computer in their kitchen, and one person would watch for the parents. Like that's the amount of fucking time we wasted for an image to load. Oh, yeah.
Like the amount of time it took for an image to just like, it's loading, and you're like, here we go. Let's keep looking at it.
Yeah.
And you just stare at the screen.
Just that circle spinning.
And nobody was like, come on, this fucking
bull.
Like
you just knew it was coming.
You just waited.
You were patient. You were way more patient back then.
Now, if I see a swirl on anything, I'm like, you fuck.
Oh, I paid $90 a month for high-speed internet, and I have to buffer? I don't think so.
Anything swirl, I'm like, you fucking, this is the worst day of my life.
But we should be mad because they do charge us through the roof for internet, and they don't provide it properly.
Yeah, but we shouldn't even be patient with them. We should just be patient in general.
Yeah, we should
because it's like, it isn't that big of a deal that I have to wait 10 seconds to see what fucking some idiot posted on Facebook yesterday.
Well, that's true. Like, even last night I bought like I finished Grey's Anatomy on Netflix, and then this new season is out right now. So I was like, I gotta see what happens next. So I bought the episode of the first one of the new season, and then I'm watching it, and like 6 minutes in, it stops, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, I was ready to throw something through the window. I was so angry.
It'll make you just enraged.
I get like Adam is just like, he's so sick of me I get so frustrated so easily. Like we were putting up Christmas lights on the house and we got this like reel of lights and Adam's like, we'll just unreel it and then we'll just like do it from length. And then I kind of did that, but then I got tangled and then I was like, oh, this was a real great idea. Unreel the lights. Like it's in a reel for a reason, but Kathleen unreeled them. And then I'm like tangled and then I'm just like, motherfucker. And Adam's like, there's kids in the neighborhood. I'm like, I don't care about the fucking kids. He's like, go inside.
Yeah, relax, Chevy Chase. I'll deal with it.
I have such a short, like, I have no patience. I've never had much, but even now it's worse. Like if something is caught on something, I like lose my mind.
I'll do this tomorrow.
Oh, I get so impatient. It's bad. It's a bad thing.
As long as I'm by myself, then I'm like, okay, I'm doing this wrong, and eventually I'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm around other people and have to complete tasks while other people are around, that's when I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Fuck it. I'm not going to further humiliate myself in front of other people. But if it's just me, I'll be like, I'll just do whatever and be like, well, that's 100% wrong.
And you'll just watch your tiles slide down the wall later.
Oh, down they go. Yep. Down those tiles go. All right. I'm crying in a bathroom. This is what girls do.
How many times do you cry a lot?
I'm doing the girl thing, but it's what?
Do you cry a lot?
No, I can't. I honestly can't think of the last time I cried. I should cry.
Real. You should cry. Men should cry. You guys are so bottled up. So bottled up. You got so much shit inside you. You just like cry. I had this like idea. I'm like, I'm going to have a hotel where men can come and just cry. Just sit. Yeah, thank you.
We rent by the hour, but no funny business in there.
I told that joke on stage. Like I talked about it on stage, and then afterwards, John Bueller came up right after me, and he's all like, "Fucking yeah, we just cry in a hotel. That's all we can do." And I'm like, oh, "Okay, this really hit a nerve on you, you angry man."
Oh yeah.
He hated that joke, and I'm just like, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to make it okay for you to cry, buddy. But he's a person that's got way too much emotion just shut inside of him.
But we don't need
you do.
We just don't want to do it.
Yeah, but you need to do it. You need to let your emotions out, otherwise they bottle up.
No, I mean we talked about this last podcast. People communicate too much. There's too much talking. There's too much fucking.
I'm not saying go to your friends and be like, I need you all to watch me cry. I'm saying sit in a dark room and cry it out.
I don't fucking cry. There's nothing to cry about.
I'm going to give you something to cry about.
There's nothing to fucking... I mean, what... Here's the thing. It doesn't feel good. Like, this is... think about what it looks like.
It looks awful.
Think about how you look when you cry.
You don't think if you feel good after you have a good cry? You don't think that you feel...
There's no way of not
That's why I'm saying sit in a dark room and do it.
Do your cry face. How do you look when you're crying?
I don't know.
It looks so dumb.
I don't even know if that's my cry face.
It makes you look weak and soft and silly. And, you know...
That's why
men can't do it. We don't really care what we look like until it's crying, you know? Like, we don't care if we gain 80 pounds or if we fucking,
and then someone calls you fat and then you start crying.
No, and then our asses hanging out of our pants when we lean. We don't care what we look like. But somehow when it comes to crying, we're like, that's going to make my face look dumb.
There's nothing wrong with men crying. And I think you should just do it in the dark. There is something wrong with it.
Why? There's a weakness to it. It makes you look fucking... how many men were if you met a guy and he started crying on your first date, would you be like, holy shit?
Well, like on the first, I'd be like, you're emotionally unstable. Yes.
But what if he just had a traumatic experience?
Then why is he on a first date?
Yeah, but he's like, well, no, this is good for me. Girls say this is a good thing.
No.
A lot of girls I talk to say it's good for me to do this. You should never cry. You really shouldn't. It just, even alone.
It feels, have you ever cried at a movie?
You kind of well up at Star Wars near the middle. Because they always...
What happens? What's part of Star Wars that makes you cry?
They always kill off a senior protagonist in the middle of a movie so that the revenge storyline can play out for the rest of it.
So what part of Star Wars makes you cry?
Just whenever the person that's good that I liked dies in the middle of the movie.
I went to go see...
like, no, he's falling.
I went to go see like one of the... and then he starts floating because it's Star Wars.
I don't know if you know how the stars work, Kathleen, but you don't float from one to the other.
Doesn't the Force bring you back?
You know what's fucking crazy about... I saw this documentary where they talked about And in order for us to get to the next galaxy, the nearest galaxy from the Milky Way would take 25,000 years at light speed. We don't know how to go light speed, but it would take 25,000 years at the speed of light.
It doesn't make any sense. What's that wormhole movie where the guy is it Matthew McConaughey? Someone or Brad Pitt?
Oh, yeah.
And they go through all these things and they come back and their family is like, their daughter's like 90 because he was gone for 80 years.
Yeah, because they were going at the speed of light and time passes very quickly. But yeah, a lot of years go by, but it feels like
What's that movie called?
I don't remember. I didn't cry in it. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right. I bet you cry in like I bet you watch Pretty Woman and cry a little bit.
Why would Pretty Woman make me cry?
Because it's so beautiful at the end when the hooker gets the rich guy.
Is that what hookers like?
That's what hookers.
Think about how many hookers watch that movie and we're like, "That's me." No, it ain't.
No, it's not me.
That's us.
I'm the hooker with
with
the heart of gold. I love that description. I'm a hooker with the heart of gold.
Did they say that?
That's like a description. Yeah, she's a hooker with a heart of gold. So she's a really good one.
And a brass puss. Yeah, too bad nobody can fuck your heart, because you'd be rich.
Oh my god,
brass
pussy. That's fucking pussy.
That musty gang show.
Brass pussy.
Gross.
That is really gross.
Brass pussy. And
it's weird. It's weird because it tastes like pennies.
It does. It does. It does taste like handful of pennies. You know? Or something like that. Depends, right? Depends.
Well, your guys' cum doesn't taste that great either.
You're not supposed to drink it.
Yeah, right.
Didn't come out of a tree, Kathleen.
Sometimes.
Some fucking Quebecois bonhomme de semen.
If he's French Canadian, you have to swallow it. Bonhomme de cum.
J'ai besoin de notre chose.
Bonhomme de cum.
Your fucking cum. Yeah, but you have those buttons too, but they're all just condoms. You have condom buttons and a carrot nose. And
Did
just
you know that
drinking
they have
semen all day?
They have these walking sticks. My mom and my brother went to Quebec City for a hockey tournament, and like it was during Carnival, I think, or whatever it's called. And they have these like walking sticks that are hollow, and you unscrew it, and they put booze in it. Like French people walk around with like these walking sticks that are filled with booze.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Those are and their COVID numbers are
not good.
Oh yeah, because we're in the COVID club now.
Oh yeah, I know someone
we're
that
in
has
the COVID club.
Like I personally know someone that's COVID, and
you're in the COVID club.
And the best part about yours is,
and Jim doesn't know anybody with COVID,
so it means he's getting it.
That's a little bit weak.
Yeah. Maybe he just doesn't know anyone.
He needs to expand his social circle.
You need some more friends.
Keep shaking hands till you know somebody who's sick.
That's the thing. If you don't know anybody that's sick, you're not very popular.
Nobody knows you. You're a nobody.
You're a nobody.
If you don't know somebody on a ventilator, you're nothing.
You're a nothing in this pandemic.
But we know somebody that could be on a ventilator.
And your person is an anti-masker, right?
Yeah, he was an anti-masker.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he recovers, but honestly, like I was so sick of watching people like
I didn't even tell you who it was, by the way. It could be my dad.
Okay, sorry. Hopefully your dad doesn't listen to this. Hopefully the person doesn't listen to this.
No, he's not he's my dad. My dad calls it covert. That's how scared he is of it. I'm not gonna get the bloody covert. And I'm like, it's COVID. And he's like, COVID. I'm like, COVID. And he's like, COVID. And then I'm like,
maybe it's just his accent.
No. He's saying covert.
Covert.
Like, I'm not fucking.
I think covert is a better name for it because it gets in there. Covert
19.
Covert 19 does.
It sounds like a new Jason Bourne movie.
Covert
Ops 19. So he calls it covert. But the guy that I know that has it is an he's definitely a guy that goes to the bar and has pints and is like, fucking,
fuck these masks.
You know what's dumb about these fucking masked up
takes
fucking
away my
baboons? You know, more people are committing suicide than are fucking getting snowvid or whatever the fuck they're calling it now. Fucking changing the name of it every goddamn week. So so he's definitely one of those like guys where the first thing, like if you talked about people are dying of COVID, he'd be like, suicides are higher. like I was talking to a guy who said like suicides are higher, and then I tried to like spin it on him and be like, well, yeah, but they're counting everything as a suicide nowadays. You know, get in a fucking car accident, suicide. You get into a fucking plane crash, suicide. So I was like trying to tell a joke about like, you know, how what anti-COVID people always say about COVID. They're counting everything as COVID now.
Yeah.
So I tried to flip it and make that about suicide, and he was just like, oh, yeah. Oh, is that right? And I'm like, no, I was trying to make fun of you about, that's what you guys say about COVID. Whenever you talk about COVID deaths, they're either going to say, they're counting everything as fucking COVID nowadays. You fucking beat your you beat your wife to death, and then you jump off a balcony, and you don't even say goodbye to your kids. And they're calling that COVID.
I'm calling it COVID.
You get into a fist fight with a baboon, and he beats you nearly to death with a stick. You find your gun, you shoot him and his whole family, and then COVID. You fucking slowly die. And they call that COVID.
Everything's COVID
Everything's
nowadays.
fucking COVID now. Your dog mauls you to fucking near death. You roll around in your backyard while he licks you, and they call that COVID. So yeah, those fucking guys are great. Well, they're calling everything suicide now.
So this is the thing that was like I read, and I'm like, oh, that kind of like makes it scary. Is they said like in a week, all of the ICUs are going to be full of people on ventilators. So if you got in a car crash or something happened to you, you're fucked because there's no ICUs open. And like,
yeah.
And so like actual real things that aren't COVID, you are totally fucked right now. Like, I don't know, but but this, okay, so like what if there were two people and
That'd
one
be cool
of them,
if you had like a gunshot wound to your chest and you're just waiting at a walk-in clinic?
yeah. That's what's gonna happen.
Sometimes I see Dr. Rob and sometimes I see Dr. Abu. I'd really like them to take a look at this buckshot that I have sprayed on the underside of my ribs. One of those two. I'll wait for one of those two. Don't send me to the little guy.
I don't.
The new doctored hairdresser.
The new doctor. I don't want the middle doctor.
No, I don't want to take that middle doc. Guy barely knows his way around a fucking scissor.
But what if somebody was going into ICU? There were two people, and there's only one bed, and one of them is a proven anti-masker. I really think that the anti-masker doesn't get the bed.
Well, the anti-masker ain't talking about his stance on masks in that moment.
No, but I think if it's proven,
the anti-masker melts right off of him.
Because that's your own fucking fault. You didn't wear a mask. That's why you didn't get it. At least this person tried to not get it, and you just were like, it's not real. And then now you're like, I can't breathe. I'm like, I thought it wasn't real.
That is the worst part. Yeah, because they do triage it, but it's usually like the younger person, right?
Yeah.
Which sucks if you're old.
Oh, like in Italy, like when the
you're
first one, they were like,
and you're like, please save me, and they're like, sorry, there's a 72-year-old.
I thought a 72-year-old.
72-year-old, where is? And then you look, and he's fucking in way worse shape than you, and you're like, it's a fucking. What are you talking about?
They're like trying to like forge their birth certificates.
Sorry,
I'm
triage.
I'm 40.
It's called triage, and sometimes it comes right down to a fucking. You were born a month earlier than him, and so you die.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
I don't know if they get that crazy.
Are you going to get the vaccine right away? Because it's coming. Apparently, it's coming. I'm going for the first round that I can get it. Some people are like, oh, I'm going to wait. For what?
Yeah, I'm going to wait.
Well, what if it turns you into a baboon?
What if you die from it? Oh, they're counting everything as a vaccine death now.
But I'm totally getting it right away. Like, why am I gonna like? You never seen these end of the world movies where everybody like is still trying to survive, but they didn't get the vaccine. I'm getting it right away.
Either do it or don't do it. Right? Waiting 3 months isn't going to tell you anything because whatever this drug is, if there are long-term negative implications, we're not going to know for years.
And also,
it's not going to be something that pops up in 2 months where you're like, "Fuck my kidney!" And everybody's running around with fucking like, "My kidney's failing."
Yeah.
It's going to be something that, if it's anything, it'll be something that shows up in like 30 years. Like,
yeah.
All the girls get ovarian cancer. Oops.
Oops.
Sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm getting it right away as soon as I can.
Might as well. Where are you going to get it? Are you just
wherever you can get
like,
it?
Boom, right in your arm, leg.
I want
to pick.
Can you put it in my pussy?
Can you put it in my?
I want it right into my pussy.
Left wall, if you please. Left lower wall. Lower left.
If you please. Good doctor.
Don't nowhere near the G-spot if you eat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just put it right in your fucking inside pussy G-spot.
Some like perverted doctor's like, it can only be injected into the genitals.
It's gotta be G-spot.
G-spot injection.
Pump until she squirts.
Oh my god.
Gross.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll probably get it. Why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be an anti-vaxxer, right? So,
but I know some people that aren't anti-vaxxers that are like, I'm gonna wait and see what happens to everyone. I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm gonna be in Mexico living my life, and you're gonna be waiting, and then I might die in Mexico by drowning. So good for me. I got my
but they'll call that COVID.
She died, dude. She drowned in COVID. She drowned in COVID.
Her lungs were filled with COVID,
aka the ocean.
The fucking ocean breeze. No, I don't know. I'll get it. Why not?
Why
I mean,
not?
It's 95% effective, or it has been in fucking baboons and beakers.
No, they've been using real people.
I'm no different than a baboon or a beaker, Kathleen.
Me neither.
If it works in beakers and it works in baboons, it'll work in me.
It'll work in me because you know what? I'm not
complicated.
I'm not complicated.
You cry more than a beaker, but fair enough.
I don't cry as much as I used to.
No? You cry less now?
I cry less now.
Do you find that that's better for you?
I think that
because there's a limit to crying, right? That's I think that's why men don't want to cry, is because we're like, well, what could this lead to? That's good. There's no good outcome. I start crying more.
I used to just talk about stuff and then I'd start crying, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like even this like normal stuff, and then I just start welling up, and I don't cry that much anymore.
Yeah, like there's like 9 relationships you can't talk about without crying. You know.
What movie did you cry in other than Star Wars? You were dancing around this question. And have you seen The Notebook?
I think like a documentary, Showa. I think I cried during that.
What's it? Showa?
Showa, the one where it's like 9 hours and it's about the Holocaust.
Okay, I hope you cried during that.
Because some parts were hard to look at.
9 hours of Holocaust and not one tear. That's a psychopath. That's a psychopath.
You do get to a point where you're used to it, you know?
That's like going into Swingers Club.
Like the first time you see people running around in Krakow.
It does connect. Don't worry. So the Swingers
There's
Club.
A lot of big dicks in the Holocaust.
Did I tell you about that
Some
moose?
of those dicks were...
Did I talk
Some
about
of those
the moose?
dead Holocaust dicks were huge.
Did I talk about last week the moose that my brother killed?
No.
Oh, I didn't. He I was coming from Calgary last weekend, and he called me, and he's like, "Oh, I got a moose!" Like he was so excited. He's like a hunter.
He loves hunting.
He's newer to it, not brand new, but he bow hunts, so it wasn't a gun; it was like a bow and arrow. And he's like, "Can you guys come and see this moose?" And I'm like, okay. Like I'm like, sure. I've never heard you this excited in my life, and it was pretty cute. So then we went, and it was like literally a 1,400-pound moose that was like very old, and the guy whose property that they killed it on says he's like, I've been trying to get this moose for 15 years, and your fucking brother sits there and it walks right up next to it, and your brother's just like sorry, I spit all over. and
that's how I got COVID.
But this
Kathleen's arrow impression.
I gotcha. But this thing was so big, and I felt really sad. I'm like, you took this like really giant creature out of the world, but then they're like, but you know, like this moose was very old, and it was probably just gonna die of natural causes.
Yeah, wood moving that fast is nature.
Yeah.
I like it. We try to convince ourselves that we're like a part of nature, and this is how it's supposed to happen.
But I didn't know all the stuff they do. Like when they like kill it, they gut it there, and they leave it for like the coyotes and stuff. So then you're like circling stuff there.
I don't know how I feel
huge.
about. I don't know how I feel about bow hunting, because bow hunting is more challenging for the human.
Yeah.
Which I respect.
But it's not so much, but it doesn't make as much sound.
But it's also like worse for the animal, right? Like, what would you rather get, bullet or arrow?
Oh,
Pow,
yeah.
arrow.
I know. I'm going to slowly bleed out.
Imagine being a moose and you're like, did I hear it? And then, fuck. Like, it would just be just writhe.
That's why it was hard. I was like, oh, this is sad. I really felt sad there. And then there's a picture of me he's like, hold the antlers. And I'm holding, like, there's 3 of us. That's how big these fucking antlers are. And I'm like, my face is like this. But this is me. This is totally a Kathleen thing. So Adam was helping them, like, butcher it a little bit. And I was like,
give me the dick.
I literally was like, where's the dick? I want to see a moose dick. So then they
leave the dick near the grass for the coyotes. They wait for it to freeze and put it in each other's asses all night.
You guys, we found a moose dick. We're partying tonight.
You should see these coyotes. They have these weird strap-ons, and they fuck each other with frozen moose dick. So wait, I saw the dick. You saw the dick.
I have a picture of it if you want to see.
Was it a good dick? I'd like to see this moose cock.
It was for a 1,400-pound animal. It was pretty small. I was like, I totally dick shamed that dead moose.
Really?
It was not a big dick.
Well, remember how it hardens up.
Which animal was that was it a frog's dick that we posted? I think that was a frog's dick.
Really, what makes a dick is the blood, right? Like I'm sure that he'd be like, no, that's my bloodless dick. Like everybody's bloodless dick sucks. I'm dead, bitch.
Yeah, it's my bloodless dick.
It's my bloodless, loveless dick.
Okay.
But don't worry, I was taken out in a natural way by an arrow. What's on? So let's see.
I gotta find it. Sorry.
What happened to your hands? Is there brown on your hands?
Okay. I had a self-tanner incident.
You had a tanning incident?
No, a self-tanner. It looks like I gave Donald Trump a hand job. It's disgusting.
Does. Yeah, it looks like you fucked his face.
I bought these self-tanner drops that you can put into any lotion.
I didn't mean to bring it up if you're ashamed of it, but I just noticed it looks like brown on your hand. Yeah, it looks like you shit on your hands.
Some girl was like, "Can I see your ring?" And I'm like, "Yes, but I had a self-tanner incident."
And then she's like, "Jesus
See,
Christ.
it looks gross. It's like I've got shit between
I hope
my
you took your
knuckles.
ring up before you put your hand in your ass."
It was worse. But anyway, I forgot to wash my hands after putting it on, which is rule number 1 with self-tanners. Always wash your hands. Okay, wait. Here it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, so look at this. How
many dicks did you have to scroll through to get to
the inside of this moose.
Wow.
Look at how big that is. That's fucking insane. It was crazy. And then Alex Trebek died that day.
Let's see this dick.
There's the dick. Let's see this dick.
Which one is it? What is it?
You can't see the dick.
No.
There. That little guy.
Oh, okay.
It looks like a human man's dick. You'd think a moose's dick would be more like...
Yeah, but that's his flaccid dead penis.
I mean, I don't think
he's not at the top of his game there, Kathleen. You know that.
I don't think he is a grower or a shower.
He just got cut to pieces. He's not having a good dick day,
He's not having a good day, period. I got to find the picture of me holding the dick, yeah. I should have asked for the dick is what I should have done. I bet you...
I'll give you the dick. I'm sure you would have heard that 8 times.
Yeah, Kathleen and all these hunters. Oh, can someone please give me the dick?
Oh, yeah, I'll give you the dick. That's a good one, Frank, because I thought of it and we all thought of it.
We're so funny.
You said it like my sense of humor is just like...
Oh, I don't know what it is.
Somebody said something that wasn't supposed to be sexual, but I make it that. That's my sense of humor. Oh, this is hard. I'll tell you what else is hard.
That's what she said. Somebody says that's what she said all the time.
I'm hard also. Oh, great. This bread's hard. I am also. It's easy to be a Frenchman,
Oh, I can't look stuff up because I've gone over my
Is this bread
data.
this hard?
I've gone over my data.
You're not supposed to look at somebody else's phone. Is that the rule?
Do not look at my pictures, Sean. Unless you want to get... Unless you want to see something you don't want to see.
Unless you want to get your eye...
You got to pay for that. You're not getting a free...
Yeah, you wouldn't want to see that. Hey, Jim and Sean are following me on OnlyFans.
Oh, no. It's weird when, people that I know follow me. I'm like, oh, you wanted to see my boobs? Okay.
Okay, old science teacher. Hey, do you have any ones from when you were in high school?
That's what stopped me from ever working at a rub and tug, because I would be scared that an uncle or a teacher would come in.
And you'd have to do it.
And you'd have to. It's a job.
It's a profession.
It's your job. You got to be professional.
You got to do it. It's my dad. I'm doing it. I guess I'm doing it.
I don't want to do it.
A job. Yeah, well, I'm not off till 3. So let's do this. No, I wouldn't want to do... I'd be more uncomfortable with the actual back massage part.
Yeah.
The roll over and do that. That's easy.
That's easy.
Anybody can fuck... A cat can do it.
Do you know that they slide across you?
What?
They oil themselves. Okay, so on my other podcast that I cheat on you with, we interviewed a woman that owns a rub and tug, and I was like, so what do you do? Like, I'm like, and do you ever have sex with the guys? I'm like, well, if the girl wants to, she can, but
she can.
Well, it's up
why
to
would
her.
She want to?
Maybe she's and I said, have you ever been attracted to a guy who comes in? She goes, oh yeah, definitely before. And I'm like, I don't know, it's crazy. But so she was like, they oil themselves up, and then they oil you up, and then they like slide their naked body across you. I don't know what it feels like, but it's probably good because it happens a lot.
That's the full meal deal.
That's the full meal deal.
You got to pay money for that. I bet prostitutes hate massage parlors.
Because it's all owned by men. Same thing with strip clubs, because we interviewed a stripper the weekend after, and it was like, yeah, it's all owned by men. And then they have, did you know that the strippers have like just like we have issues with yucks and everything like that, they have their own agencies that they're like fucking titty twisters or something, making me drive all the way to Fort McMurray, not giving me any gas money. Like, seriously.
Typical twisties.
They're like, strippers are the same as comics.
Except for there is no stripping yuck. Like yucks is sort of the brand that everybody knows in comedy.
There's no
brand that it like. There's a lot of brand awareness problems in the stripper world.
But well,
we don't know any.
In Alberta, there was Showgirls. That was kind of a brand out here.
Chippendales, but
that's for men, though.
That's men, yeah. Like there. Why the fuck? Like, why did men have a recognizable stripper thing, Chippendales, and women? There's not one agency. There's no like stripper, like this company stripper show, and then you're like, that means they're good girls
because it's like the whole Playboy Club, right? Like you had to be really good looking to be a Playboy bunny. So you had to be really good looking to be a Chippendales.
Why weren't there Playboy strippers and shit? Like
they should have done it.
Why the fuck?
They were trying to be classy.
Anything?
Do you know what? I've always had a business idea to own a stripping agency for men, but call it Average Joes, and just have like regular dudes like that are just have really fun personalities. Because I've never ever been to like male strippers and the girls are like, this is fun, because it's always like ugh. But if some like weird dad bod looking dude came in and just like made us all feel special, I'd pay money for that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess it would be like male burlesque
and made us laugh.
Yeah,
and
like male burlesque.
I guess so, yeah.
So like men, that gives girls, the bigger ones have to have something funnier they're doing.
Yeah, I know, it's so
same thing as guys. Like a guy, if you're like an average Joe, like that's the problem. That's why it's so hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Because if you're a hot guy, you just like remove your shirt and go, what? Look at this bitch. Look at it.
Look at it.
You'll never have this.
Look me in the nipples.
But if you're an average guy, then you're like, what do I also have to dance or whatever? And then you're Jack Black and you're famous. Like, like if you're like a big bear kind of guy and you can dance and sing and shit,
but like
you're famous. You're not stripping in a fucking, some shitty bar.
I think you could make a lot of money because honestly, I don't think like most women want to see, like, I've been to a strip show. I've ever told that story on this podcast. I went to the Docks. Remember the Dock? Were you there?
Oh,
you might have been there because so the Docks was this like newfie bar next to Yucks in Londonderry Mall, and we all became friends with the managers because they would always come over to shows, and then we'd always all go over there.
To be clear, I never did become friends with them. Go on. Wasn't that they hated me or I hated them? I don't know who they are. Kathleen's the one that's like, oh, we became friends with we became friends with I don't recall us. But every story you tell about anything is like, oh, remember? And then we became friends with nope, don't recall that. Don't recall ever speaking to them. Anyway, carry on. It was just the place I went.
But they had male stripper night, and Andrew Iwanek was like, well, we're all going to take Kathleen to the man strippers because she's always coming to Boston Pizza and listening to everybody talk about sports, and she's come to the girl strippers with us before. So now we're going to support Kathleen, and we're all going to the male strippers. So we did, and it was literally 10 people in that giant bar.
Oh, God.
And so there was this one guy, and he comes out, and
I wonder if it's like that for strippers too, where they come out and there's 4 people, and they're like,
for
holy
sure.
fuck.
For sure. Like if you're not a top headliner yet, you're dancing to not very many people. But so this guy came out, and he was a firefighter, but he had to set up his stage.
Fake. Volunteer.
Yeah, not even a volunteer. No, he
sub-volunteer.
just bought the costume. But he comes out, and he has these 2 metal bowls, and he fills them with lighter fluid, and then he sets them on fire and runs off. And then he comes back on, and he's dancing in between these 2 bowls of fire,
God,
doing push-ups in between
so
them.
Weak.
That's a funny thing too, because
but did he put it out?
Just listen,
okay.
but at least at the lady strippers, you watch them and you're like, God damn it, those girls are talented. Like they're swinging around on poles.
You learn or you're out.
Yeah, they're amazing. But these guys, they're just like push-ups, skipping around. This just looked so terrible. But anyway, so this guy, he starts to undo his belt and he goes to take his belt off and he whips his belt off and then he goes smecka. And then one of the poles of fire goes flying into the crowd. There's fire flying into the crowd. Like he hit it with his belt.
And then he starts yelling, not a real firefighter.
He's like,
I'm not a real firefighter.
I should have used real fire. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's hilarious. Like a firefighter on stage yelling, just screaming like, call the fire department. Call the fire department. You're a firefighter. No, I'm a fucking guy who does push-ups.
Yeah. But the fire went into the crowd and it was like, there were girls like that, not like they didn't catch, but it hit them and there was fire on them. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
My God.
It was so good.
The Docks was a crazy. I remember doing a comedy show there.
Yeah, they tried to do next to a comedy club, which is like, why?
Yeah, okay. And then I remember there was one night where they were like, "Okay, we need you guys to fill 20 minutes or something." It was like it was Andrew Iwanek and myself and a few other people. And I think we reenacted the first scene of The Diary of Anne Frank.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You did that a few times, but I do remember it at the Docks. I remember that at the Docks.
Once in a while, we would just be like, let's do the opening scene of The Diary of Anne Frank. It would just be me coming out, and it's Otto Frank coming back to the attic, all emotional, and like, oh no, the Jews are gone, you know? And then fucking Andrew comes out. He's little Anne Frank, you know.
Of course he was Anne Frank.
Yeah. So and then we knew our lines and everything. It was pretty good.
I remember. Yeah, the Docks was a good bar, and like that's the best part about like these bars that end up embracing comedians is it's usually like people that are like, fine, we don't make money. Like, I guess we'll have a comedy show. So they're like, yeah. And so like Blue Chicago, like my show, the guys that own that bar were just rich kids whose parents are like, here's a business. And then they literally just like, we all drank for free. Yeah, we all like, they never charged us for stuff. Like it was like, and even their friends would come and drink.
This is a Kathleen thing because I got charged for every single drink I had.
But like they didn't care because the bar wasn't busy anyway. So like
they looked at me as like, hello, $80 ring out. I'm sorry. What's your name? No, my name is $80 ring out.
Sean $80 ring out.
Sean $80 ring out Lacombe. Yeah, they didn't know the fuck I was. They were so but it was funny because we were like, hey, they like us here or whatever. But I mean, you were actually friends with them. But for the rest of us, we were just a $300 table. Like they didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, we were just coming in and buying
we
drinks.
Do comedy here, and they'd be like, whatever you
idiots
want to do.
Yeah.
Like if you idiots like you're $300 when you come in. So if you guys want to stand in the corner and fucking talk to each other, go ahead. I don't give a fuck. So like the Live Wire, that's the only reason there was comedy there.
Oh yeah, the Live Wire.
We were like a bunch of drunk people would come in and spend $500, and they'd be like, "If you want to do a comedy, go ahead." I
remember watching Paul Meyerhog like make out with it was either Paul Meyerhog or Kelly Dacus making out with an armpit, with a woman's armpit.
Oh God, an armpit.
Oh yeah, and then I also remember like this woman came in and
oh God,
she had a bunch of like little scratches on her face, like a bunch, and Kelly again was like, did you get in a fight with a kitten?
Oh, no kitten did this.
Oh,
this was a mama cat.
I don't even remember how to get to that place. But yeah, that was my very first time on stage ever. Like, I don't really count it because there was nobody in the crowd. It was just comics. But like, that was my very first time on stage with that Live Wire.
Poor thing.
It was really awful. It's amazing that I stuck around after like doing that. And I'm like, this is fun. So
and then you were like, are all comedians just like alcoholics? Because like at that time, everybody was
I used to drive everyone around.
At Live Wire, they didn't even have wings. They had shrimp. They had like fucking like.
In Millwoods.
They had shrimp. So you'd be like, can I get some wings? And they're like, all we got is shrimp. You'd be like, what? Like, we do shrimp like wings. And you're like, okay, I guess I'll get teriyaki shrimp. And they're like, done.
This is why like
a dozen shrimp.
Oh
like
my God.
Salt and pepper shrimp. And you're like, it wasn't breaded. It was just fucking straight up shrimp.
With sauce on it.
Yeah, you like take and that was when somebody's like, you take the tails off, right? And I'm like, oh, what? I eat it like a monkey would.
I wonder why it's so crunchy. I don't like shrimp. It's too crunchy.
Crunchy? You're not eating the fucking tails, are you? That's where the COVID is.
All of those shows were like just absolute the worst. And like even Sidetrack, Sidetrack was going down. That's why they gave me all that money, because they were just like, let's just get, because there was a huge lawsuit about why it was going down. So they were just like, well, let's get rid of this money. And like that's when like the manager was like, hey Kathleen, do you want to do a competition here? And I was like,
that was the weirdest thing ever.
And then he's
all
like,
of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, hey, the winner gets $400.
Yeah,
like,
they were like,
what?
Well,
like,
he said, well, like how much would you like for a competition, like what's a good prize? And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, would $400 be okay? And then we'll give you $150 a week. I'm like, I guess that'd be okay. I had like headliners
every
coming
headliner
down.
in town
Mike
would
Wilmot
go.
came down, and he was so angry that he lost. But like, it was like a bringer competition.
Well, did he lose? Yeah, he did lose. That was when I saw.
Most of the pros that came down lost because they just couldn't, like, because it'd be like Keith Sarnowski for the first time going on stage, bringing 80 of his friends going up against Kevin Fox.
Yeah,
and like, you know, like it's like, so this is like this prize. It's such a mind fuck because like these headliners would be like, oh, easy $400. I'm a headliner, and they were amazing. I
just bought a futon online before going.
Yeah, but we did like ballot votes, and like if you brought a ton of people, you would win $400.
Some of them were mail-in.
Yeah, some of them were mail-in, and I double counted those because you know, mail-in 2 votes.
Sorry, Kevin Fox, the Electoral College has spoken.
But yeah, no, that was like a weird fucking, and that didn't last super long. That like did not last forever at all.
How long have you been talking?
An hour and 10.
Oh my God, that's too much.
And it's not even funny.
Hey, we didn't even talk about that we're on a network now, and we can swear and do whatever we want because they don't own us.
Yeah, well, they care so much about us that they put the wrong.
They did. He felt really bad about that.
You click on Dead Baby Bear and it's somebody else's podcast.
It's Kian. I always fuck his name up, and I feel bad, but I won't forget. Yeah, it's their podcast. But,
yeah, that's how much they fucking care. That's where we are.
He felt really bad.
Everybody feels bad. The reason you make a mistake is because you don't fucking care. Well, and then when you realize you made a mistake, you care. Honestly, for briefly. In the email, whoops, I feel bad. I'm just joking. I don't give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck. It was fixed.
But what is it? It's called Comedy Here Often, right?
Comedy Here Often. The Instagram, it makes me, I think it looks like Chop. Yeah. Chop Oddcast. But it's Comedy HO Podcast. So it's like, it's funny.
And how many podcasts are on it?
I don't know, probably about a dozen. Yeah.
Only the best.
Only the best of the best.
So not
led
by us.
Yeah, mostly led by us. Yeah, right. We get the fewest fucking listens per word of any podcast. Just nattering for an hour and 10 fucking minutes about your hysterectomy.
What is a hysterectomy? Is that like taking ovaries out?
I think they take the whole fucking kit and caboodle out.
Like your uterus and everything?
They turn your pussy into a pit, I think. It's like, you know that thing that Boba Fett fell in? It looks like that. It's huge.
I don't know Star Wars. I know it horrifies men, but I do not.
I cried at that part. When Boba Fett tripped and fell into the fucking toothy pit. I was like, no.
I went to one of the last Star Wars movies, like one of the newer ones with my ex Jim, and we were sitting in the theater, and right at the beginning of the movie, someone ran in and yelled, "Han Solo dies!" So it like wrecked it.
Who the fuck?
An asshole. An asshole.
Fuck.
But then at one point, Jim looked at me, he goes, we weren't together at this point, we were just like hanging out, and he's like, like this, we're very much like Leia and Han Solo. And I'm like, yeah, I'm Han Solo and you're Leia. because I'm always leaving and you're just hanging out here. He listens to this podcast. He's going to laugh. He's going to laugh at this because he did laugh at that and also probably hurt his feelings a little bit.
What kind of a fucking cunt runs into a theater and yells that?
Right?
God damn it. I want to fucking kill that guy.
Some people, I'm surprised somebody didn't jump up and like run after and beat the shit out of them.
Of course, he does that at a nerd movie.
Yeah,
right. Like Han Solo dies, and then everybody's like, "Oh, that's. I wish I hadn't heard that." Like you'd never do that at a fucking, like
X-Men movie.
Yeah, like a Marvel movie where you're like, "Fucking, one of the guys dies." Oh, fuck it. Just a bunch of roided up freaks jump you before you can get out.
Oh, I have.
Fast and Furious. Vin Diesel dies in the middle of it, and you fucking lock the door. We're gonna kill him.
I have to unblock my data because I went over my data.
Oh, I thought you said I had to unblock my dad.
My dad's not on social media, and I really love him for that.
Yeah, it's better that he isn't.
It is.
For you.
Yeah, it's better for everyone.
I think old people, once they dive in, they're in, you know? Like, a lot of the people that I know that are the most active on Facebook are in their 60s. You know? It's a place where, like, it used to be, like, people in their 20s and 30s were, jamming at each other on Facebook, and now it's, like, old ladies going, well, here's the flowers. Here's an updated picture of the flowers in the yard.
I think I have to do this manually.
And then 20 comments of, oh, quite a nice bloom on them this year. Oh, I know. And I didn't water them yesterday. I was taking care of my grandson.
I like your old lady voice. You have really good like accent voices. Like you always have a really good
racist ones.
Well, you're good at racist ones for sure.
And French ones. J'ai besoin. I know what is it? Je tu il elle nous vous.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Those
I also remember the c'est l'Halloween. C'est l'Halloween. C'est l'Halloween.
Alouette, gentil alouette. Alouette, gentil plumeray. Gentil plumeray la tête. Gentil plumeray la tête. Et la tête. Et la tête. Alouette.
Alouette.
Aïe, 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 aïe. Alouette, gentil alouette.
Alouette, gentil plumeray. Come on, let us win. I don't think we won.
Luc va à l'école avec son chien Fido.
Working.
Luc va à l'école avec son chien Fido.
I only know the Halloween one, and I know the classroom song.
What is that one?
Dans la salle de classe, le porte de fenêtre, the door and the window. This is how dumb we are. Like, we can only say door and window. But I do remember the Halloween song, too.
My French teacher for 3 years. This is the kind of sense of humor that I had. Every day, our French teacher, because I took French immersion until grade 9, and then in grade 10, 11, 12, high school, they had, we just took French as a class. It was an easy elective for anybody that took French immersion because it's fucking basic French.
Yeah.
And so every day, our teacher would ask us, like, have you read a book? That was like her big thing, was every day she would say, have you read a French book recently? And then every day I would put my arm up and go, yes. And then I had a book and it was called Black Like Me. And I would just hold up a copy of Black Like Me. And she'd be like, oui. And then I would put it down.
Oui.
And then the next class, she'd be
all
like,
the way home?
has anybody read a French book? And then I'd be like, yeah. And she'd be like, holy fuck. And then Black Like Me over and over again. Every fucking
your
day for 3 years.
Your teachers must have fucking hated you. My teachers hated. I had a teacher once say, if I had a gun right now, I'd kill you, Kathleen.
I started.
That's how much she hated me.
I started this humming thing. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, where like I was like, hey, you know, what'd be cool is like if we all just started humming one at it, like and then another person does it, and then another, and then
is that like something you do in the substitute teachers there?
Yeah. So it's like
I would never want to be a substitute teacher.
I don't know why the fuck we did that.
We made a substitute teacher cry in grade 3, and like I'm not proud of it now. I wasn't really proud of it maybe I was proud of it when I was in grade 3, but I remember the vice principal came down, and the vice principal never dealt with elementary. I don't know if he was a Vietnam War vet or what it was. He was an angry man, and he only dealt with junior high, but then they're like, the vice principal is coming to talk to you, and we were like, oh my God, like we're in trouble. And so he comes in, and I don't even remember, he screamed at us. We're like 9 years old, and he's like, how dare you make that woman cry? You're all brats. You're like, I remember like crying my eyes out. Like it was scary.
But crying's good for you, Kathleen.
It is good for you. And it gets you out of stuff sometimes. One time
did we win?
I got pulled. No, I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't think so. I did it manually. But I don't trust myself. And this thing is not working.
When I think about you, I trust myself.
I don't think we won on a set
That's
for
a
life.
fun
We're
song.
not set for life.
Luc va à l'école avec son chien Fido. I gotta fucking look that up.
This is a bilingual episode.
We really hated on the French.
Well,
Jim says it has evolved into French love, and it has.
I mean, yeah, we did not.
Luc,
we weren't speaking well of the French at the beginning of this episode.
L'école. I need to know what the words to that song are because I don't know why I'm forgetting. Here we go.
Unmute it. Hold it up. What does Masha Masha mean? Oh, this is about a horse?
No. It's about Luke going to school.
Walking to school?
Yeah. With his dog.
Oh, what's his name? Doe?
Fido.
Oh, Fido. Fido. Cute. Masha, Masha. Masha, Masha, Masha. Does he pick up after his dog?
No.
Of course not. Typical filthy Frenchman.
Quickly to school. All right.
The children's singers always sound so happy, but you know that they're like
French people do anything for 10 seconds. So that's the song.
Yeah, I only know C'est l'Halloween.
That's a good song though.
Yeah, it is.
Can you say what is it again? How does it go?
C'est l'Halloween, c'est l'Halloween. Hey,
Sounds like a
c'est l'Halloween.
It sounds like a Bee Gees. It sounds Bee Gees-esque.
And then it goes le sac de soir, les fantômes aussi.
Swallow?
Le ciel est tout noir et nuages sont gris. Est-ce que tu as peur, mes enfants? Oh, madame, oui, 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 oui. That is the only thing I remember from French.
Wow, totally worth it.
Yeah.
You're going to scream that out when you have dementia like every morning.
Have you seen that? I shouldn't be laughing about this.
I'm going to be fucking 82 and some Filipino lady in the same room as me, and I'm going to be like, Luc va à l'école avec son chien Fido. And she'll just be like, learn the rest of it.
Have you seen
Please, for the
that
love
video
of God, learn the rest of it.
Marsha,
Marsha, ma.
Have you seen that video of the older lady that is an ex-ballerina, and then they start playing Swan Lake, and she starts to like do the hand movements, and everyone's like, that's so amazing. And I'm just like, I don't like watching this. This is weird. Like,
no. Yeah, she's just like raising her arms with Parkinson's.
It looks like she looks like her eyes are just gone. She looks like someone from Awakening. Do you remember that movie?
Oh, God.
Where they like throw the ball and all of a sudden they're like catching.
I don't know. Old folks' home should just be like a fire pit. You know, where they open the door, you walk in, and then
I don't want to live to be old.
Into fire.
I don't want to live to be an old person. I don't want that.
Oh, no, I was gonna say something, but I won't. Yeah.
This is very.
I would have just had to ask Jim to cut it anyway. So.
We've only cut things like twice. Once was his address, and once was something that was real, but no, it wasn't.
Something that Sean said.
I think you said a name that you didn't want out there.
Right, and I said some other thing too.
Oh, then we've done it 3 times.
Yeah, we've done it 3 times. Jim's address, fair enough. His call.
Yeah.
I don't know why I gave it out.
A mean story where you named names.
Right, a mean story where I named names, and then a little slip, a little slip of the tongue. Just a little slip. Nobody needs to know what was said.
I did tweet that I said that like the the comedy the podcast network doesn't own us, so they can't tell us what to say. Those motherfuckers can't tell us what to do, and they're like, "Oh no, we want you to say worse stuff," and I'm like, "All right."
It'd be funny if they listen to our podcast and they're like, "It's pretty tame."
Yeah,
They just talk about Holocaust dick and.
They talk about stuff that like comics that are 15 years in think still edgy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Like AIDS jokes and
exactly.
Holocaust jokes.
If we were younger, we'd know how hacky we were.
Oh yeah, we're so hacky. We know.
But we're in our 40s, so we're like, and another thing
I'm not in my 40s yet.
Yeah, whatevs.
I still have 5 months.
Your metabolic age is 30.
I'm going to lose that 20 pounds.
All right, let's get out of here. Why don't we just do another 5 minutes and then cut this into 2 podcasts?
No. This is the only thing I have to look forward to every week. I can't wait to hear your next French song.
Okay. Well, everybody stay safe.
Yeah. Don't get the COVID, but if you don't know someone that has COVID, you're not cool.
And go on
comedyhereoften.com.
No, don't go to that shit. They don't even have the right podcast up.
They changed it. They fixed it. They felt bad. They had us like, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that we probably we actually lose listeners. That's what our fucking legacy with Comedy Here Often is people.
Kean and Brad are like, wow,
our listens are way up. And then everybody who hears it is like,
mom and dad.
This is better than that other thing I jerk off with.
Yes, probably. How many people, I always wonder that, how many people are like jerking off when they're listening to this? Not like because they want to, but sometimes stuff's just on in the background.
Well, they would probably like have to cut me talking out.
Maybe some people come to you. Maybe
fucking whatever. That'd be disgusting. Even I know that'd be disgusting. Who would do that?
Maybe they're laughing so hard they come.
No, not happening. So I think they would watch it and then put a piece of tape over my face and jerk off to you.
Oh no, because I never look good on this podcast. Look at my hair; it's greasy. I'm like,
you got fucking brown shit fingers.
My shit.
Saves it for OnlyFans.
I don't. Yeah.
Saves it for OnlyFans.
Hey, filters do wonders.
I only tan the titties. That'd be great. Mystic tan your tits.
Just like put like fake like tan
Donald
dust
Trump.
on your tits.
Yeah, your tits look like Donald Trump's face.
I bet you that's somebody's fetish, and I'd get tipped for it.
Okay.
Everybody likes something.
Well, thanks for listening to this ridiculously long podcast.
It's been long, but we've had fun.
Bye.
Bye.